Hello everybody, this is Kelly O'Black bringing you this week's Free Flow Wednesday video. This is our inspiration piece from the week, and you'll see that I used a couple of things from the inspiration piece. I'm going to create a background for you today using the Master's Touch 12x12 watercolor paper pad from Hobby Lobby and this stencil, which is a tulip textile stencil from Tuesday Morning. It was $3.99. So how the inspiration piece inspired me here is the gumdrops on that inspiration piece became these circles in this background. And one of the things that I wanted to do for you today is I don't do a ton of mixed media, so you probably won't see me on many, if any, mixed media Mondays, just because I tend to be a scrapper that likes, I don't like getting too messy. The best way to describe this. So the stencil is a great way to do it with this Heidi Swapp gold texture paste. And that's what that is. It's the Heidi Swapp metallic texture paste in gold, because I can keep this very controlled and keep the texture paste in these circles so I'm not getting all messy. Part of it is I'm scrapping in a place where I don't want to ruin the carpet and take any chances of doing that. So working with mist too much and that kind of stuff really can scare me if they're on the my desk space. I do from time to time work with watercolors on it, but again, I'm worried about getting that carpet. So I just use my little spatula here. And what I'm going to have to do, because if you look, I'm not going to fill in any partial circles, so I'll have to cut that background down so that the sides are even around those circles. So again, the gumdrops inspired the circles from this background. Here's the background all finished, and there's the photo I'm going to be working with. Now, in all honesty, what happened is I discovered after I started this that my camera shut off. So I'm going to show you, I considered these backgrounds for the border paper there. Remember, I cut that 12x12 watercolor paper down. And that is the color book all chalked up 12x12 paper pad from Walmart, believe it or not. And I'm just trying to find you what the actual background is because I have another sheet of this. I chose this herringbone texture for the background there. So I just put the 12x12 paper on there. Now here's how this inspiration piece inspired me again. When I saw that orchid, it reminded me of my sister's dress in this photograph. So I know it's not pink, her dress is more burgundy, but that is kind of where I thought, and I knew I had these pictures of my nephew's wedding to scrap. So I decided to use that. And I think I told you that in all honesty here that my camera had shut off. I basically had this layout finished and had to take the stuff off the background and start over because I wanted to show you how you can do mixed media if you're not a typical messy scrapper. That was one of my sort of goals with today's video. So that tissue paper keeps sticking to the background piece in places. And I'm just folding it up a little bit so you get some texture with the tissue paper. That tissue paper actually came with a paper issues order. They wrap your paper in this. So that was, you know, pretty cool that I was able to use that. And I've been using it with some of these wedding photographs because it's a great herringbone pattern. So I might have to order some more from Paper Issues just to get more of this cool tissue paper. So as I said, I'm just going to take that and fold it up just a little bit for just a little bit of added texture in the background. And it was a little more uneven than I wanted it, so you could really tell how uneven it was. So I took that and cut it off. Then I'm going to grab that piece of Kaiser Craft, that gold stripe paper. It's from A Touch of Gold, and the paper name is Gleam. I'm going to use that as like another layering element, another piece of paper to layer the photos on. Then I thought I might use these tags here from Recollections, but I wasn't liking, I was thinking they were drawing a little bit too much attention to themselves. I thought about that gold stripe from the Wonder acetate pieces, but that just didn't seem to work. And then I had grabbed some of these treat bags from Studio 112, and that's Joann's. They're actually called favor bags there. And that worked out really, really well. So then I was still thinking about these tags, and I decided I could either use the gold or the black, and I'm going to end up settling on the gold. And then I pulled a label off the Teresa Collins the Teresa Collins Signature Essentials label stickers. That's where that black one came from. And remember, I said I'd pulled all the stuff off. So fortunately, I had doubles on some of these and kind of showed you what I was doing. And then I just couldn't pull that off that tag. I did think about those gold glitter hearts from the Studio 112 collection. But the thing I didn't like about them is the background of the dots in the background is very solid. Those glitter hearts brought in an element of glitter that I didn't have, nor did I really want it on this layout. So what I did then is I pulled some bows from the Paper Studio, and that large bow that I'm working with right now is from the Paper Studio, the spare parts line, and it's from the Solid Gold Paper Bows collection. I'll use another smaller bow from another collection a little bit later that I'll tell you about. So I was working with that and just kind of getting that all done. And what happened is the paper kept sticking to some adhesive that was still in the background. So I just pulled it off the background and worked with it on my mat to make it a little bit easier. Now I knew I needed something at the top left to balance what was going on the top, on the bottom right there. And I pulled another label from that Teresa Collins Signature Essentials collection there. And I grabbed another bow there. That's a bow I'm working with there. That's from the Paper Studio spare parts, but this is from the gold black mini paper bow collection. So it's a different sheet, but it does have that gold bow on it. And I'm having a hard time getting it positioned properly, at least properly to my eye. And I like how that sort of just, it echoes what's going on in the bottom right, takes up some visual space, and sort of joins the paper all together there now, finally. That's my title. I'm just making sure as I go down, as I put the photo block down, that I'm going to have enough room at the top, or that it's visually pleasing to my eye, that the spacing is right. You've seen a few of these layouts, and all the layouts before this really basically were for my nephew and his wife for their wedding album. This one is actually for my album. So you'll see a change as you see me scrapping these wedding photos from their wedding, because now I'm doing it for myself and it's more layered. The bride that I made the book for didn't want too much stuff on the pages and too layered, so I trimmed back on that a little bit. But when I'm doing them for myself, they're definitely getting more layered. The cool thing about this is I have another nephew getting married. I'm taping this on the 17th of May, the narration, and this will come up on the 25th of May. And by that time, my other nephew, his younger brother, who's on the right, or I'm sorry, is not in this picture, but his younger brother will be married, and I'm going to do their wedding album as well. The funny part is both of the albums are going to be largely gold and black, so I will have spent probably 2 years scrapping in gold and black for wedding albums, but that's okay. The other one, it'll be more my style, more layered, and I'll probably pull in some other colors as well. I'm just grabbing my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive there. That is because when I pulled the title off, I pulled the backing of the E off, so I had to get that on. And I'm not adding any to the other letters in this on this one. I'm living dangerously here because we all know how those can come off. That is the hipster font in black. It's a chipboard letter, as I said. And I think it was with the first Chamel collection, if I remember correctly. It was with one of the Chamel collections. So now what I'm going to do is just make sure that I'm pretty sure that I'm done with this photo block in large part. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinking about some of the finishing touches. I want a few other things on this layout, but I'm not quite sure what those few other things are at the moment. So I keep all the supplies for this in a 12 by 12, I can't think of the word, container, an iris container with an insert in it. One of the things I thought about doing was saying groom's parents here, you know, putting that on. And so I went to these Elle Studios letters in black, but I didn't like how they looked. I thought they were too little with the other font. And I just thought I didn't care for that words somewhere else because it felt too separated. You know, the groom part was coming after the parent, so it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to abandon that idea. And then what I do is I pull this sticker sheet, the Expressions cardstock stickers from the Story of Us, and I decided I wanted to use some of the word stickers from that, so I pulled this Love You sticker from that. The funny part is that black alphabet on that sticker sheet is probably the right size to do the groom word on this, but I didn't see that when I was working with it. I am going to put this little tag up in that top left corner there because I wanted a darker black element to balance off some of the dark black in that other sticker and the title. That's not going to stay there though. I'm going to change how I'm going to bring the black in. So what I did is I grabbed my perler beads, my homemade enamel dots, which are made from perler beads. I've had these for probably at least 2 years, and I still have them going strong. And I grabbed the black ones. And I like that visual element of tying that dark black together with everything else. But then when I did that, I for some reason didn't love that little tag up there in the top left. So that's going to come off. You know, it probably would have been fine, but just to my eye, it just didn't look right. So I took it off. All right. So really now what I need to do is get those perler beads on the layout, and I usually attach these with the micro glue dots. I find that I tried it with Scotch Quick Dry, but they didn't stick to that for me. They fell off a lot. I think the surface is kind of interesting, and sometimes even with these glue dots I have a little bit of a problem with them, and you'll see that happen in just a moment, or I have to re-stick something with another glue dot behind it, and I'm just dotting them around. Just getting that done. I think if they don't lay down perfectly flat, they don't stick. I'm just about finished. Hope this finds you all well. The detail shots in the still are coming up. We'll be back with another video soon. Bye!